Hello, welcome to the Lorax. Dear people, beware, this book may change your whole life. Now, picture yourself playing in City Park or in your backyard, if you're lucky enough to have one. Now, what do you see? A tree to climb, birds in a nest, flowers. Now imagine all that taken away. There's a parking lot, a factory with smokestacks. Try planting flowers in the cement or breathing fresh air into the smokestacks. The world will be like this unless we can teach the kids of the world to love it before we lose it. How can we do that? Dr. Seuss found a way. He gets us laughing, gets us interested in the story of the greedy old onceler who cared only about money. But the onceler's happiness and success was short-lived. But even he came to realize we don't really need needs. Dr. Seuss asked us to speak up for the trees, the water, and the air. If something wrong is being done to the environment, speak up, as the Lorax did. Talk to your parents, your teachers, and your legislators. Talk to anyone who will listen. Just by looking outside, we can see that the world is still a beautiful place, but as Dr. Seuss puts it, it won't be. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.
At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, no birds ever sing except old crows as the street of the lifted Lorax.
And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before someone lifted the Lorax away.
What was the Lorax?
And why was it there?
And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows.
You won't see the onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays at his lurkum at the top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miff-muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out his shutters, and sometimes he peeks and tells you how the Lorax got lifted away.
He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On an end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss him 15 cents. And a nail. And a shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's nail.
Then he pulls up the pail, makes a careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you pay him away in his groove, his secret strange hole in his grooveless glove.
Then he grunts.
You won't see the onceler. Down slumps the whisper-phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear. Since they have to come down through a snarkly hose, it sounds as if he has smallish bees up his nose.
Now I'll tell you,
He says with his teeth sounding gray.
how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, just a long, long time back. Way back when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swarmy swans rang out in space. since I finished, I heard a... I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I just chopped down. It was sort of a man.
Describe him.
That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy. And he spoke in a voice that was sharpish and glossy.
Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze.
I'm Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for they have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs.
He was very upset as he shouted and puffed.
What's that thing? That thing you made out of my truffle tuft.
Look, Lorax, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing isn't need. It needs to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for pillows, or sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats.
Then the Lorax said,
Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who will buy that fool's need.
but the very next minute he was proved wrong. For just at that minute, some lass came along, and she thought that the sneeze he had knitted was great. She happily bought it for $3.98. He laughed at the Lorax.
You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy.
I repeat,
Cried the Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
I'm busy.
He told him.
Shut up, if you please.
So he rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone and put in a quick call. He called all his brothers and uncles and aunts and he said,
Listen here. Here's a chance for the whole Walter family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road north next. Turn left and we halt it. Sharp right and south stage.
and in no time at all, in the factory he built, the whole Wensler family was working full tilt. They were all native maids just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle tree.
Then, oh, baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now just chopping one tree at a time was too slow.
So he quickly invented the Super X Hector, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. They were making seeds 4 times as fast as before. And the Lorax, he didn't show up anymore.
But the very next week, he knocked on my new office door, and he snapped.
I am the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you see to be chopping, as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloons, who play in the shade in their barbaloon suits, who happily live eating truffle fruits.
Now thanks for hacking our trees. There's not enough chocolate food to go around.
And my poor barbaloons are all getting crummies in their tummies, for they have only gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, y'all!
He cried and he sent them away.
I, the once felt sad, as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know.
He meant no harm, he most truly did not. But he had to grow bigger, so bigger he got. He biggered his factories, he biggered his roads, he biggered his wagons, he biggered the loads of things he shipped out. He was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. He went right on bigger and selling more needs, and he biggered his money, which everyone needs.
But the very next week, he knocked on my new, but the very next week, I was fixing some pipes, when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes.
I am the Lorax!
He coughed, then he whiffed. He sneezed, then he snuffled. He snargled, he sniffed.
Wensler!
He cried with a cruffless crow.
Wensler, you're making so small and slow. By my poor Swami Swan, where they can't sing a note. No one can sing the smog in their throat. And so, They may have to fly for a month or a year to keep the smog you smogged up around here.
Snapped the Lorax. His dander was up.
And let me say a few words about your glubbity glub. Your machine chug on day and night without stop, creating glubbity glub. Also sloppity slop. And what do you do with the leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty once-learned man, you. You're glumping apart with hummingfish hum. No longer can they hum, for their gills are all gum. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary.
And then he got mad. He got terribly mad. He yelled at the Lorax.
Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yak, yak, say bad, 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 bad. Life my head, sir, and I intend on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring, and figuring, turning more truffle trees into knees, which everyone needs.
And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. Timber! The very last truffle tree of them all. And no more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, all his uncles and aunts and everyone all waved goodbye. They jumped into his cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars.
Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I.
The Lorax said nothing, just gave him a glance, just gave him a very sad, backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants.
And I'll never forget that grim look on his face.
When he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole into the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless, whatever that means. Well, I just couldn't guess.
That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, oh my God. Over the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now,
Said the Wensler.
now that you're here, the word of the Lord seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So, catch!
Called the Wensler. He let something fall.
It's a truffle seed.
The last one of them all. You're in charge of the last truffle of seeds. And the truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care. Give it fresh water, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, and the Lorax and all of his friends, they come back!
All right! Mostly we want to thank our dear director, Laura. So, Laura, we all want to thank you.
Miss Van Zomeren, thank you for helping us and the volunteers. So all of us students and volunteers made you a card.
Oh, that was sweet.
We have a few more people to thank. Laura, you did such a great job. We want to thank you with one more bouquet. Come on back up. Another round of... Oh, you got what? Okay, you don't get 3 bouquets. Okay, we also want to thank the Assistant Director, Jamie Hartman. Let's hear it. All right. Okay, and Jamie's talented daughter, Taylor, did a whole lot of work. She's one of the teen or preteen assistants. Let's give her a hand. All right. Okay, now we've got Lacey. The director, Lacey, we want to thank you
Lily,
too.
chill out.
And we also want to thank Jade Sparks. Jade, come on up. Thanks for Don't forget we've got refreshments down in the cafeteria. All right, we're going to take pictures first. Don't eat the cake.
Lauren hamming it up.
I know. Go take your...
You got to see that twice.
Go take Sissy her flowers.
Say excuse me.